Good afternoon, everyone. The time is 5:32 p.m. We are in council chambers for a regular town council meeting and our public hearing for the municipal budget. Can I get a roll call, please?
Chair Bracken.
Present.
Councilor Danforth. Here. Councilor Gould.
Here.
Councilor McGowan. Here. Councilor Pelletier.
Here.
Councilor Raymond.
Here.
Councilor Runyon. Here.
Can I have everyone stand and remove your caps for the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a reminder for anybody that's joining us on Zoom, you need to have your first and last name. If you would like to make a comment tonight, please come off mute and turn your camera on and state your name and address. Other than that, we have no adjustments to the agenda unless anything's changed in the last 5 minutes, Mr. Manager.
Sir.
I am seeking approval of the minutes for April 9th, 2026 regular town council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Runyon. Any councilor comments? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous. Special presentation tonight is Dr. Lane, the school superintendent, for the FY27 proposed school budget.
Everyone. This version document. Nothing's changed, the bottom number's still the same, cost numbers are still the same.
Thank you.
That's- The cost numbers are the same and the budget bottom line. Slight difference would be. Yeah.
So probably no. All right, ready when you are.
All right. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to fill you in on some of the things that are going on over to school and talking about the process of putting our budget together. The school budget process kicks off in early December and runs through now. Throughout this period, the admin team holds multiple meetings followed by staff and board sessions. Many internal dynamics and external factors play a key role in shaping our final budget. It's our primary responsibility to provide a quality education experience for our students while monitoring the fiscal impact for our community. Some impacts on our budget this year, our EPS, which is provided to us from the state level, is $101,000 less than the last year. At the end, the overall budget is looking to increase $339,000. And our ask is $320,000, which represents about 3.8% higher than last year. 71% of the budget is our contractual salaries and wages. That is up just slightly from last year. We have an increase in insurances, like our property insurance. We're paying roughly $120,000 this year, and last year it also had increased. Our transportation contract has increased, and like everybody else, things like utilities, we've had to budget some extra for. when we're looking at this process, we look to see what is it that we need, where is it that we need it, what things have changed, and what adjustments do we make. So early on in this process, we did identify the fact that we didn't think that we needed a full-time assistant principal. So we started there months ago and kind of have worked through what our adult needs are in order to support our kiddos. On April 7th, the school board did vote to change the full-time assistant principal to a part-time. We also did add, you'll find in this budget, the SRO, which we discussed in August, is included in this. That will be, we would be in the second year of a 3-year grant that we're sharing those services with East Millinocket. The CBAs have been or are in the process of being negotiated. The teacher one is in process, and the support staff were in year 2 of 3. So anytime there's an increase in salary and wages, there's those corresponding things that go with it. So increases in state and federal taxes, unemployment, workman's comp, in retirement. So all of those things are also reflected here. The new law that went into play for paid family medical leave, which is 0.5% of our payroll. So this year it's looking like about $21,000. We actually, that goes into effect this May, and we actually have our first person who has applied for that. So we'll see how well the state does with awarding that and how that's going to move forward. But that person will apply for May. And we have an increase in legal fees this year. We also look at vendors, equipment, and labor, all of those things as we're developing this. For staff updates, we do have a couple of staff members who are moving on to other experiences. One's moving to Florida to be closer with their family, and the other one is pursuing some leadership opportunities. We thank them for their valuable contributions, but it has changed the configuration a little bit of what our staff is. We have 46 teachers. Of the 46 teachers, 23 of them have 10+ years experience. So we do have a very capable workforce. And we also have a number of teachers who have master's degrees. So your workforce here in Millinocket for our school systems is very solid. We have 8 food service employees, 32 ed techs, and that includes the ones paid for by title and special ed. For grants, we have local entitlement. These are estimates because the actual awards are not awarded at this time. But for local entitlement, which is supporting special ed, we're anticipating $174,000. Our pre-K grant, we don't have a dollar figure for yet, but we do have 5 students who are identified for the program. That's the new program that by 2028, we have to take care of 3- and 4-year-olds. We've opted into the third pilot, which is third cohort, excuse me, which will be our 4-year-olds. So next year, we do have 5 identified, and we'll have to see what the state allows us for supporting those kiddos. In our ESSER grants, we have about $320,000 estimate, and that's for all of those. Title I, we have about $22,000. Homeless, $3,600. Our Gear Up grant is kind of like an in and out. So we provide some services, and then they're able to reimburse us for those. So it doesn't really add to our budget. The work grant, which is the ELO grant, we're in year 2 of 3. And again, that's also a funding in and funding out process. You've probably heard or seen in the paper that we've been awarded the Congressional District Service Grant for $1.5 million. We're in the next phase of that, and that phase is Ms. Peavy has some work to do by May 11th. The award, we would know for sure, would begin in September. So in looking and putting this together, we've looked at the course offerings, the student-teacher ratios. We've looked at what our enrollment is, historical spending, as well as projections on all of the things like you have in your homes with your utilities. We've looked at vendor contracts to renegotiate any that were possible. Some contracts we have to renegotiate, like believe it or not, milk and bread. Those are required for us to negotiate annually. So we've looked at daily operations, bulk purchasing, grant research, those types of things. And with that said, if you want to go to the document that Rhonda has passed out, we can get started and go through the cost centers.
Give me just 1 second. Just a reminder for those on Zoom, first and last name is required to remain in the meeting. If you have just your first name or just your last name, I will ask the manager to notify you. If you do not change it in a timely manner, I will ask him to remove you from the meeting. Thank you. Continue, sorry.
Sure. All right, so this is the typical for those of you who are new on the council. I'm not sure if you've seen the this presentation before, but this is the typical pattern that our cost centers are set up in. School finance gives us the cost centers. They give us the line items. Those are uniform all across the state of Maine. So the first one is system administration, and this includes cost center for contractual salaries, increases insurance rates, Tyler Tech, which is our software program, retiree insurance, which is the insurance that was negotiated for anybody who left the district as a retiree, and we pay part of their health insurance. There's an annual audit, legal fees, and some contracted services.
The actuarial.
And yep, and the
Excuse me,
actuarial.
tell me what page you're on. I can't seem to.
Yeah,
follow.
we're lost.
I-
I'm sorry. I was just going through that whole cost center and I had just written notes on what it included.
So you said that cost center is total system administration.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
on page 2 for us. The first part for us is the superintendent's office.
Yes. So all of that is on the bottom, well, almost to the bottom of page 2. That is the total for the cost center there and showing you the increase.
Let's move on.
Yeah, can I just make a suggestion, something that would probably be easier for us to understand, because this is how we go through our budget process.
Okay.
I understand it's broken down by cost center,
Okay.
but not all of us are familiar with that. So if
Okay.
we could just start on page 1,
Okay.
superintendent's office, go through that. Central business office, so go through each individual thing. I
Okay.
think that will be a lot easier for us to understand.
Okay. All right.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, some newer counselors haven't had this
Yeah.
experience yet, so.
Nope, that's perfectly fine. So if we start at the beginning of page 1, so that's all the things that I just said. But by line, so you've got everything from salary, health insurance, family paid medical leave. The FICA is part of our federal and state insurance. MSMR is our retirement, unemployment. All of those are very standard, and you'll see them in each of the sections where we have employees. Legal fees are listed there, contractual repairs. That's where some of our leases are for copiers. Postage, advertising. Advertising is things like for if we have to put something out for bid, or if we're seeking for an employee. Supplies are just typical supplies from running an office.
Yeah, I will open it up to the council for any comments or suggestions or questions on the superintendent's office portion. Yes, go ahead.
At least in this, there's no cuts. And as we're moving forward and trying to save money, I just noticed, just by looking at the percentages on the side, there's no cuts. So if we're trying to save money, I'm sorry, just asking this in the most elementary of terms, but we're trying to save money and there's no cuts.
So I'm not sure that you'll see cuts throughout. The goal really was to look at what we felt we needed in order to support the programs and the students, and
also based on previous expenses, so if we are close, we know we'll still be close.
cut.
Great.
Any other counselor comments? Questions? Seeing none, you're good to move on.
All right, so the next section, central office, business functions, starts out with, salaries, moves down to health insurance, unemployment. On page 2, family medical leave, professional employee training, the audit is listed there in this section. Technology related services, is some of our, software programs. Travel would be, learning opportunities perhaps. Dues and fees, just the, organizations that we're part of. And there you see the, retiree health insurance.
Any counselor comments on this section? Seeing none.
Moving on, the school board section is small, but has some of the similar things, stipends, workman's comp, travel supplies, the annual dues we pay to, MSMA.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
And that takes us to the first, section with, 827,436 with a 2.1%, increase. Granite Street Principal's Office, starting out with salaries, principal salaries, secretarial substitutes. Then we go into the health insurance. The MSRS, that is our retirement sub contributions that we make. On page 3 at the top, the paid family medical leave that we were talking about. Professional credits, we asked in our budget development, we asked all staff if they are, planning to take any courses. And as part of their CBA, we're obligated to fund that. So that's represented here. And then you go into unemployment, workers' comp, copiers, postage. Same types of categories.
Any counselor comments on this section? Seeing none. Yep. Counselor
Yeah, I
Pelletier.
was just wondering about the one that's up by 17%, a secretary position,
What one is that, Louis?
400. 523,400.
The negotiated salary, the salary increase we negotiate again this year, so that's an increase in this.
That's contractual there.
No, it's the, if you're looking at 2,400 secretary salary,
That is contractual.
Yeah.
That is.
oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, CBA.
Yeah.
Any other comments, Counselor Pelletier?
So Louis, that's a great question though, because we had, last year, you would have noticed too, in the increases that were in the support salary were part of what was the new law, where we had to put in 125% for ed techs and 115. So that's, continues to be reflected too.
Any other questions? Seeing none.
Stearns, moving on to Stearns, principal, assistant principal, clerk, health insurance. For those of you who are perhaps less familiar, health insurance, we do have some of our employees get, family health insurance, and most get single at 85% because that was negotiated, a while ago, and so they're grandfathered in for a little bit of time. And you have the Medicare, retirement contributions, professional credits, unemployment, main family medical leave. The rates for these things, depending on the individual's wages or what their category are, is why some of these are in here multiple times. Like the unemployment rate for the principal is different than the unemployment rate for the secretary. So that's why you see them multiple times. On page 4, it continues in the same scenario with the workers' comp. You see 4 lines there, and that's because the rates are different. That's multiplied times wages. Copiers are a lease.
Any counselor comments on this section? Seeing none?
Pre-K 2 instruction, the first line is the salaries, for our, K2 teachers. The next line is health insurance. This year, our health insurance actually didn't go up much compared to what they were telling us. They thought it would be somewhere between 3 and 11.5. And we were really pleased that it wasn't the 11.5. Tuition, you can see reimbursement for teachers. That's based on the teachers who are interested in taking courses. Supply lines are represented here: textbooks, technology, instructional field trips. A little bit further down, like towards the end, you can see the pre-K teachers' salaries, substitutes, health insurance. This category continues on page 5 at the top, where we go into Medicare, retirement, paid family medical leave, unemployment, workers' comp.
Counselor comments? Yes, Counselor Gould.
K through 2 teacher salaries decreased by 9%. And I'm looking down at line 510200, pre-K ed tech salaries increased by 77%.
That would be the number of ed techs that are in that pre-K program.
I think.
Which
Counselor Gould-
how many?
or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just curious of how many pre-K ed techs.
I don't know.
I'd have to check on it, but I think, believe it's 4. And we have some seasoned ed techs.
On top of the 4?
No, that are in the pre-K program, they have to be way. They have to be ed tech free. They do make more money.
The only question that I have is, I've noticed it a couple of times, and this is the first one that appears, but line 525100, object code update, bunch of question marks. I'm assuming this has nothing to do with changes, particularly to that line. It's just a coding error.
I need to be able to roll that into the next fiscal year, and if it's not there, then it's gonna throw an error code for me.
Okay,
Just let me know that I need to make sure it's in the next fiscal year in the budget. And
okay.
if it's not there, then it'll kick it out.
So there's no changes coming to
There's
that?
no changes coming there. That's just my highlight when I start looking through everything.
Okay, thank you. Any other counselor comments? Yes.
I'm just curious why supplies are up 100%. Is there something big they plan on purchasing?
Is that line 561,000?
Supplies.
Yeah.
They are purchasing some additional supplies, and I think it's tied to some technology supplies or some smart boards or those kind of things. And that wasn't put into the technology piece.
I think it goes with some of the new curriculum.
Thank you.
Were some of those items bought with ARPA funding? I'm just trying to remember back when we had ARPA funding for the school, there was a huge increase to technology, smart boards, TVs. Are those being replaced again?
I didn't hear what you said at the beginning.
ARPA funding, when we had it, I think right before you came on,
Oh.
they had replaced a bunch of TVs, smart boards,
Yeah.
laptops, electronic equipment, tablets was a big one at that time.
Yeah. We have looked to slowly replace some of those. Some of the quality of some of the things purchased at that time were purchased in bulk in order to get people through because, they needed to. But there's also the new programs that they had for math and reading also need some technology supports. And so that's part of that too. The online components.
So some of it's replaced, some of it's new.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Any other counselor comments? Seeing none.
Okay, so midway of page 5 goes to 3-5 teachers, substitute teachers, stipends, health insurance, Medicare, retirement. tuition reimbursement, unemployment, workers' comp, that continues on to page 6 at the top, travel for professional, supplies, textbooks, technology.
Counselor comments, Counselor Gould.
20, which would average out to 21%. I'm curious on the very first line, 3 through 5, teacher salaries dropping 21%. Seems,
You said the first three lines correct, so 51, 0, 100, 51, 2, 300, and 51, 5,000.
yes. 510, 100, 3 through 5, teacher salaries dropping 20.634%. Did we lose a teacher or?
We did not lose a teacher. We had some shifting of some teachers in different areas.
And that's that's a good example of a teacher who is newer to the system, so is kind of at a different rate in the scale. Yep, that's exactly what's in. Yep.
Other counselor comments.
So we have the increase for the supplies that you were just talking about, but then there's the other technology related supplies. Are those two fields just not related?
Correct, right, because some of them are hardware and some software.
Which line are you referring to? Someone that's
Oh.
related to.
So, the supplies would be 561,000, and then there's technology related supplies, which is 565,000.
Thank you. So then my question bouncing off Counselor Runyon, if there was an increase in the previous line for supplies, I'm assuming line 56, 100 or 1,000 is hardware and then the other line is software?
Well, some of it, but that's some of the general supplies too, like for consumable phonics books or science program, the other things that are consumable and replaced.
And that's up 81.3% at a total cost of 13,600.
Do you have?
We're replacing some earbuds and some Bluetooth headphones and those types of things for students and some iPads.
Yeah.
So that's, some of those things come under supplies.
Any other counselor comments? Seeing none. Thank you.
Well,
So 6-8 instruction. Same pattern, teacher salaries, substitutes, health insurance, Medicare, retirement, reimbursement for courses, unemployment, workers' comp, contracted services. That's where the SRO is listed. Part of it. Just for your reference too, that is part of a grant, so it's partially grant paid, partially East Millinocket, I guess, the way through the money comes from Millinocket to them. And then partially, this was the year they asked us to pay a portion as well. The us as in put it in the school.
And the grant funding's for 2 more years, you said?
One more, it's a 3-year grant.
Okay, thank
Yep, yep. Hopefully you've heard really good things about that. And then textbooks, technology, equipment, dues and fees.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
On the next page, page 7, 9 through 12 instruction, teacher salaries, substitutes, that's something a little different in here, piano accompanist, health insurance, Medicare, reimbursement for teacher, unemployment, workers' comp. There's another SRO, and because this is another grade span. Copiers, textbooks.
Counselor comments on this section? Yes, go ahead.
I just need more for the SRO. So for line 543,000 on the previous page, well, I guess it's the same on both. So in total, you're being asked to contribute $26,000 a year to that program.
Any other counselor comments? Seeing none.
All right, So at the bottom of that page starts gifted and talented, pre-K 8. It starts out with teacher salary and then all of the things that go with the salary, insurance, tuition, unemployment, workers' comp, travel, supplies, books, instructional field trips. With-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say with gifted and talented, that's a program that right now we don't have somebody in. We had advertised a little bit for it, but we've also been trying to do some type of coordination with others who might be able to supply something or do an opportunity together. If we take this out, this is a licensing type situation. So with the state, we have gifted and talented approved for our system. We would have to initially pay for the person and then we could have some reimbursement in our 279 the following year. So it is a line that we've looked at. Do we want to keep advertising or do we want to try and do something unique or clever with it because we have it here and we don't want to lose it? So
This is the second year, third year?
this is the second year.
Second year. You
Yeah,
didn't have
it
anyone
is.
last year as well, correct?
That's right. We tried a few enrichment type opportunities and then we got the ELO program this year and it kind of, it doesn't do the same thing because it's a different group of students. Because the ELO program doesn't do really much for the middle school kids, 6 through 8. And the gifted and talented program really was K to 12 or, so they don't really do the same thing, but we've kind of made the ELO program do a little bit of that work.
Any other councilor comments? Councilor Gould?
Would that be a full-time position?
No, it's part-time.
Time?
Yep.
Because I looked at the budget of $46,319.45 K through 12. And
Yeah.
that'd be kind of a hard position to fill that.
Yeah.
But
It-
something I would really consider if there was more in a budget for that, something to advertise it, something to get gifted students to be able to thrive.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Any other councilor comments? Seeing none?
Okay, so then moving on to the next section would be the same. It's funding the rest of that position. So we just did pre-K 8 gifted and talented. The next section is gifted and talented for 9-12.
Councilor comments on this section? Seeing none?
The next section is ESL 9-12. That's a required component that we fund, and you can see it's minimally fund, but it is if we have a non-English learner in our program. So we would have to provide services. Likely right now, it would be an online type service. There's so many things that have come out now that give an opportunity to rural schools or schools that don't have somebody who is in, a lot of times this service is provided by their English department. So there's a minimal inclusion of money there for that. And then that is total regular instruction.
Any councilor comments? Seeing none?
Special services. So this is special education. This has several sections. So the sections are set up the same in this cost center where we have salaries and so the director's salary. We do share our director with East Millinocket and with Medway. We hold the MOU for this. So we bill them for the portion that they pay us. We bill them monthly for that. It's a negotiated wage. But it's all for last year and this year, we are going with an initial percentage where next year we'll have to talk to see if we're going to do it more based on enrollment or based on amount of students who are in the program. Right now we have like a 2-year agreement for what our rates will be. So that said, the rest of that is standard as far as the insurances go. The assistant is in this section as well. Same thing for tuition, unemployment, family medical leave, workers' comp, legal fees.
Councilor comments on this section? Yes.
I don't know what I don't know. On line 511900, the assessment facilitator, and it's new. So is that a new position?
We
What-
had to shift some tutoring money to this position because the tutor was doing some assessments and it didn't fit the need as under a tutor.
Okay,
But we had to shift that cost over to this position.
okay.
So it's putting it in the right line.
Put it correct.
Other counselor comments?
So we're at the top of page 10. And this section is set up in K-8 special ed resource room. And that's the teacher salaries, ed tech salaries, substitutes, health insurance, Medicare, retirement, reimbursement, family medical leave, unemployment, workers' comp, travel, books, supplies.
Counselor comments on this section? Seeing none.
The next section is set up the exact same way with K-8 self-contained. So that is a classroom of, as you can see, teacher that supports students who are identified in IEPs. And that section continues on page 11 at the top, the first third, with the same things: unemployment, workers' comp, tuition. There is one line in there that's a little different, and that is tuition paid to private sources. You'll see that that's a very large number. We can at any time have a student walk through our doors that is a resident of this community. And if there are services that they need that's out of district or high cost, those are the two phrases that they use. It's our obligation to provide them with equal access to an education. And that education is really very expensive. So that's what that big line is there. We do,
That's not including like Region 3, correct?
no, it's not. No, this is really just special ed. Yep, special ed students. So it might be a student who attends a special purpose program. It might be a student who's receiving their education while they're in the hospital. There's a variety of locations where a student would receive education that it would be our responsibility to pay for. That all falls here.
Yes, go ahead.
Excuse me, I have a question. In the packet that you gave us, you have down here that there's 89 total special education students.
Mhm.
And is that out of the current population of 434?
Yes.
So you have about 20%
Yes,
population.
yes.
Special ed. children.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to put together too, because that number, a number of years ago, pre-COVID, the number that schools looked at was 3%, and everybody was like, "Oh, you can't have more than 3%. And then that moved to 5, and then that moved to 8. And 20 or the upper teens is not unusual. I don't know if it is an identification thing. I don't want to say it's a result of COVID. But it really has shifted, and it's not just in Maine, it's really all across the country. Because if you really looked backwards, you'll see that those numbers went from, they kind of gave us guidelines, right? Like, your school's doing okay if you have 3% or less, or 5% or 8%. But so that number's not as far off as you might think it would be.
Any other counselor comments? Seeing none.
K-8 speech language, that is to provide speech and language services for our students. So that's the salaries, and then tuition, unemployment, workers' comp. All of the children who would receive services would have IEPs. So there's a whole paperwork trail. There's a process for identification, and that is provided through this cost center.
Any questions on this section? I'm assuming it's the same answer for supplies in this section as well.
So at the bottom of page 11 is homebound and hospital. That's a $10,000, and that's money that we currently, we had one new one this year that is, we're actually providing education for in a hospital for an undetermined period of time. So 10 may not even be enough. The distinction there is homebound and hospital, and that's all, again, it's all done with an IEP.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
The next section on page 12, K-8 special ed, summer and after school program. We do get some, some title grant money to help with that, hopefully around $20,000, like we have in the past. But it doesn't quite get all of the program covered because there are some things that money can't be spent on. So this supplements that.
Council comments? Seeing none.
K-8 special ed other costs. This is where you get a lot of the extra services as far as identification services, so the testings, evaluations. You'll see extra services in there, provided specialists, occupational therapy, there's health insurance, tuition reimbursement, all the normal things for having an employee. And then you have contracted physical therapy.
Council comments? Yeah.
I just have a question about the contracted social work behavior service. Is that something that was budgeted somewhere else? What is that?
That is, we needed to hire we need to have some contracted social work done, and it didn't fit in any other program that we had within like psychological services. It's actually social work with children.
Thank you.
It is new.
And it is new.
Other council comments?
Again, things like that would be identified in an IEP, so it would be required of us. Page 13. So I guess that actually is 912 special ed resource room, even though there's no header on the top of page 13. So that's our special ed teacher salary, and then the things that go with having an employee.
Any council comments on this section? Seeing none.
912 special ed's self-contained. Special ed teacher salary and the things that go with having a teacher. Reimbursement. Such. Page 13 goes over to 14. The first part of that is that same section for 912 self-contained.
Any council comments? Seeing none.
Homebound, this time it's for 912 instead of 6-8. So same thing there.
Council comments? Seeing none.
And 912, the next section 912 speech and language. Same thing, only is for 912 instead of 6-8.
Council comments? Seeing none.
So on page 15, 912 special ed summer and after school program. It's a little different here because this would be if there's a student who we might offer something extra to for summer tutoring in the 912 age, where the last time it was really the work that we do at Granite Street for summer.
Council comments? Seeing none.
912 special ed other services. Again, instead of 6-8, it's 912. So there you have the social worker, occupational therapist, contracted physical therapist, contracted psychological services. All of the students would be identified through the proper channels to access those services.
Council comments? Seeing none.
And then at the bottom, we start with K-8 guidance. We have a guidance counselor and the things that go with having an employee there, going to the top of page 16. That's Granite Streets.
Council comments? Seeing none.
And then if we continue on, 912 guidance would be our Stearns guidance counselors. There's the salary, all of the things that go with having an employee, dues and fees.
Council comments? Seeing none.
At the bottom, our school nurse. So there's the nurse salary and the things that go with her. I do want to point out that we don't have a med tech anymore, but we kept that $5,000 in there in case we get a medically fragile child. which we have had, each of the last couple of years. By that, it might be somebody, it might be a student who comes to us who is a type 1 diabetic, really not under control. So there's extra things that need to be done there to keep the child safe. Also, we've had a feeding tube. So medically fragile in our world of public education now is something that we manage. So we left that money there in case that happens, which last year it did. So that's the health services. And on the next page on 17, all of the things that go with having an employee. Supplies are everything from Band-Aids to, we have standing orders for things like cough drops and Tylenol. All of those things are all purchased under that. Equipment is things like the battery that goes to the, what's the thing in the hall?
Defibrillator?
Yes, so it's all of those.
Counselor Collins? Seeing none?
Technology, K5 technology is assorted things from service items to software to hardware. It's really a smaller budget considering we use so much technology every day. So it's a lot of hardware, software. And you're gonna see the same thing if we continue on with 6.8 is the same idea with the technology. On to page 18.
And it's the same for 912, correct?
Yes, exactly, yep. So all the way to the end of 18.
Counselor, yes.
Just curious because we talked about the smart screens in other budget lines throughout that of why it wasn't in here, but it's kind of a compound question as well. I noticed that we're not teaching technology, computer in K-5 anymore.
It's not taught as a pullout, but it's more integrated. The way of the education now is more that you use it as a tool and you use it so as part of English, as part of social studies or something.
My question's a little bit different. I noticed, or when we talked about supplies and everything prior, the major increases in those departments were related to technology. And then we get to the technology departments and I've seen 3 lines, one 66.667% increase and the other one's 42.857. So I'm assuming these are somehow related, but
Some of those are more like the hardwire things. So in order to keep our various systems running, we have to have, I'm not very good with the words, like servers, or we have things called switches, like,
Yeah.
so some of that's those things which are above my
so this is related to the structure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
You better be.
Seeing none?
And then on page 19, we go on to library. And K5 library, 6.8 library, 912 library for the whole page. So there's the employee in each, tuition reimbursement, all of the things that go with having an employee. K5, 6.8, 912. That goes on to page 20.
Any questions on library? Seeing none?
And then the next section is co-curricular and extracurricular. So 6.8 extracurricular activities. Those are for some kids the reason why they come to school, to do some of the other things they get to do to develop some social relationships with peers. So this represents stipends, some of the supplies they need. You'll see that busing is there, like next to the last line. Our busing is contracted. Some of that is rather expensive. Police and ambulance, in order to make sure that our students are safe in the events that they're participating in.
Did we eliminate the athletic director?
No. We just shifted that cost to 310. And for Meadows, the 160, the cost on a 160 is not allowed. So all those costs actually should focus on 10.
Thank you.
On top of 21, 6-8 co-curricular activities, and then the 9-12 extracurricular activities. So we've got the stipends, and then all of the things that go with having an employee. So even if you have a stipend, we have to take out taxes. We have to still send, you know, the monies that go along with all the wages for paid family medical leave, all of those.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
Page 22. 9-12 co-curricular activities, same thing, stipends. Paid family medical leave, unemployment. Printing and binding's a little different. Supplies, technology related, dues and fee.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
Maintenance of plant at the bottom of 22, starts out with, salary and wages. On 23, we get into, the normal things at the top that go with having an employee, but then it goes into the actual, things that keep our buildings in good shape. So the operation of, the elementary plant is this next section. You'll see there that there's everything from telephone, electricity, fuel, equipment, substitutes, all of those related to operation of the plant for the elementary. And then at the bottom, it starts on 23, but goes to 24. And that's the operation and maintenance of the plant for secondary. Same things, electricity, insurance, fuel, custodians, health insurance, paid family medical leave.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
Voc Ed, there's no assessment for. And then we go into debt service. This is an anticipated amount. We received the grant to do the improvements, the upgrades at Granite Street. So we've applied for a bond in order to allow that to happen. And so because the bond amount that we're requesting is very similar to the bond amount that you just paid off for Stearns, then we're anticipating that the fee would be the same. So that's where that number came from.
Counselor comments? Seeing none.
Page 25, student transportation. That's all contracted service. That's a negotiated agreement.
Counselor comments?
I should say with the exception of that minibus, which picks up a couple of kiddos who struggle to ride on a more populated bus. And then that leads us to the end. With a 9,165,356 for an increase of 3.84.
All right.
Because this is so many pages, I believe you also have the cost center, which is a much shorter, smaller section. If you look at that, that might help you have a better frame for what we just went through. Would you like Rhonda to talk about the revenues?
I believe there were some questions about revenues. If
Okay.
you just want to give a broad level overview, I think that will suffice.
Okay.
If anyone is opposed to it. All right, perfect. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Okay, the revenue page is, I'm not sure where it is in your packet, but it starts out with local EPS assessment.
You said it's in the packet, correct?
Yeah, it should be in the packet. It should look similar to this.
But, oh, good. Yeah. That's the revenue page. That's a different page. She'll probably go over that. Okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so the revenue page, it's not a local EPS assessment. That is the number that the state gives us from the ED 279. And then FY 27, it's 1,437,593.34. And that's the number that we're down by $101,083. And that's because the town's doing well. Figured you can raise that money, so they upped what you guys need to raise. The next number is the local debt service. That's our loan for the school renovation revolving fund. That's 96,000. That's the projected number that Shelley talked to earlier on the last page of the budget document. We've predicted to be up a little bit, but we're not. That's like just a rounded number. The next is a local additional appropriation. This number is 2,616,767.91. That's the number that is the gap, what we think education is going to cost and what the town needs to come up with to meet the education needs of our bottom budget line. The next number is a local appropriation, adult education, which is 2,815.71. Then we get into the revenues. School nutrition is a healthy program still, so we're not raising any money for school nutrition. We have the international program. We're dropping it down to 25,000, and that's lower, but we're not sure where we stand with our sister school. Right. And if they're going to be still continuing that program or not. The next number is the EUT, our EUT students, that we've dropped that down slightly by $5,000. And that's because this year we have a student attending the Region 3 program. We only get 66% of that tuition versus the 100% of that tuition rate. The other third goes over to the Region 3 program directly. And we've lost some students who will be graduating. The next one is the EUT special education. Funds we get to come in, which is 13,300. Next one is secondary special education figures for students. This is what we build EUT for our special ed students. That's 14,000. The transportation contract, which we hold from Bragdon's, the EUT reimburses us, and that's at 47.5. Athletic
Councilman Long.
Can you just explain what EUT means?
education on organized territory.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next one is the athletic receipts. We expect to get 10,000. The next one is recreational department receipts. We expect to get 15,000. Building rental, 55,289. That's kids fees basically, or any other people that might rent our building for some reason. We have an E-rate reimbursement of 2,000, and that's based on the E-rate program reimbursement. We also have miscellaneous receipts of 30,000. That could be anybody, anything that I would be getting a receipt for. It could be room rental. It could be reimbursement for custodial fees, any of those kind of things. And then the next number is the state EPS allocation. The state's going to allow us to have 4,373,244. It's actually down by 200,450.99. That comes directly from the ED 279, which is a state report. Then we have the state agency client, elementary special education, that's 13,000. CDS reimburses us for CDS services for some pre-K students, that's 3,200. This is our expected reimbursement for our special education shared director, 60,000. Then we have a superintendent, we have a shared superintendent cost, and we expect to get roughly 4,800 for the year. Basically, they pay for some health insurance and some cell service. And then this is our carry forward, which is 225,846. That has been given to us by what we expect to carry over from the FY 25.
Councilor comments. I have one. So you had mentioned briefly that there's talks of going away from the international program. Is that what I heard you say, or there was talks that we weren't
We're not.
potentially doing that in the future?
Uncertainty, considering the way of the world at the moment.
Right.
So
We have 3 schools that we kind of like do business with, support students with, and one of them is uncertain at this time what they're going to be able to do. And the other one is asking us to provide some material that we really don't have the capacity to provide. We've had ongoing talks for over a year about that, so I'm just not sure where it's going to land.
These are the 3 schools in Asia. Are
Pardon me?
these the 3 schools in Asia?
Yes.
Okay. Is there plans to possibly branch outwards or look elsewhere for an international program? I know, I
We
think
have,
talks in the past, there were talks about possibly doing something in Europe or.
and actually our students recently have come from Guatemala, and we're using the Jump Start program, Jump the World, I think it's called.
Yes.
Um,
Peter's.
yes, okay. So actually our students are coming from other places. So there's still, it's not that we're not making an effort, it's it's changed. And finding host families is really tough. We kind of went through a phase where we had more kiddos, even in the last 3 years since I've been here, but then we couldn't host them, so then the agencies that they go through send them to other directions. So it's
multifaceted part of it.
It's
We don't
tough.
have people. And
yeah,
the
it's
other part is.
tough. Yeah. Yep. We're still working on it, but yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other councilor comments or questions? Seeing none.
And then we get into the town share page. This is kind of a summary of what we expect the town to provide, as well as what we're taking in for revenues. Do you have that page?
Everyone set?
So the first one is the local EPS, which is what we talked about on the revenue page, which is what you're expected to raise, which is 1,437,593. It's again, that's down by 101,000. The debt service is 96,000. The local appropriations that we expect the town to raise is $2.6 million, or 2,616,000. That's the additional amount needed, that which is talked about the gap of education. The adult education is $202,850.71. Total local appropriation is $4,153,176.96, and that's up $320,000 at $321,6329. That's what we expect to have raised locally. The difference in appropriations, the next line down, is $320,163. That's the difference between FY26 and FY27. Our carry forward number, which is $225,846. And then the grand cost to the town, which is $4,379,2296. The grand difference to the town is $546,009.20. Then we get down to the local revenue, which is $4,379,000, the same number you see up top. State funding, what the state's going to give us for our local EPS, which is down $200,450. And we have additional revenues, which is what we talked about on the revenue page. The school expects to raise $413,089, and that gives us our budget of $9,165,356.
Councilor comments? Yes.
So just to clarify so that we all understand, so what the raise from the school that will have to be raised by taxes is $320,163.29.
Yes.
Thank you.
Other councilor comments? I'm happy that the state thinks that we're doing so well to reduce the share to $300,000. That always makes me chuckle.
So the school finance lady her name's Paula Gravel, and there were like 170 us on a Zoom call. And so she's going through the 279s and telling us the changes, and there's hope on the horizon, because they are looking at a new funding formula that does look like it will pass, and there will be some change next year that will likely benefit us as rural education. But anyway, with all of the people on there, she's saying one easy way for you to explain this is that if you're getting less, we believe that the numbers show the town is doing well, so you can afford to pay more. You can just imagine 100+ people on the Zoom call thinking like, what are you talking about?
That's kind of my thought right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. But that is the way that's the way the current formula operates, is like they think you're doing well, so yeah, you get less. But it does look like there's change next year, so there's hope for that.
That's at least positive.
Yeah, good to hear for sure.
Any other council comments before I hand it back over? No? Yes.
I noticed at the beginning, you said there was 46 teachers in the system.
46, I think, yep, I think.
And how many administrators and office people are there?
How many administrators?
Yeah,
There is, let's see. 2 principals, 1 part-time, 1 part-time superintendent, 1 part-time special ed director. So 2, 3, 3.5,
many.
3.5.
Of course, I'm new to this year. I've been on the council before and during some difficult times, but and I appreciate what the school board has done. Is budgets during these times are a difficult thing. But the quick overview that I could see from what I was handed a couple days ago is, it looks like in the administration area, you're doing pretty good, but in the teacher area, they're losing. And just from my quick overview from it, and to me, I think that's an area where you need to invest more in it, because that's where the boots are on the ground. So that's just my take. And if we look at it as an overall, the amount of teachers, I mean, students that we have to the budget that we've got, it's about an average of $21,119 per student. And I believe the national average is around 17, 18.
17,250.
17 so just some things are, overview that I've seen, and in the quick amount of time I had to look at it, but really my thoughts is invest in the teachers. And 'cause I know when I was in school, it was the teachers that I remembered. Really, the people that were in the office, I didn't. So
So the teachers' contracts, which I'm sure I'm telling you something you already know, are based on the CBA. So it's a collective bargaining agreement. It's negotiated. So the teachers in Millinocket have actually had a 5% per year raise for 3 years, and then are negotiating now. So they're getting to the point where I would think that you would think was a good wage at this time. We're getting there, and since I've been here, we've negotiated. This will be the second time. So 5% is good. The 15% raise over 3 years. So we're getting there.
yeah, and it looked, and like some of it, the teachers were getting some bonus, but then the ed techs and stuff were losing a lot.
So that's the law. When Louis had mentioned something earlier, so the state of Maine and the feds put into place a new law where we had to match the minimum rate for the feds and bring it up 125%. And then we have a gap between the increases that we gave and what we currently budgeted for. So the state gave us back a little bit of money for that, because those wages went up significantly. Some went up as the range was somewhere between like 11 and 21%. So we agree with you. That was something that, was mandated that we do, but it was with a group of our lowest paid people. So those wages have gone up and are much more competitive than they were.
And today, an education is a very important tool, because when we were graduating from school, we were walking into the mill and working there
Right.
and stuff, and it's totally changed. So,
Right.
but really, like I said, I'd like to see invested into the teachers in that area. So, thank you.
Right.
Other councilor comments? Yes.
I try to choose my words so I don't upset my wife, who I'm hoping isn't watching at home. I've been thinking about this long and hard. I've attended the last couple of school board meetings, and honestly, I truly believe that children are our infrastructure. I mean, this is it. I would have absolutely no problem with this budget if I knew that my children were going to be getting the best possible education, and the test scores have shown elsewise, and that's why I'm having such a hard time digesting these numbers. And I, I'm gonna pass at that point in time, so.
Other counselor comments? Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. So I just want, I mean, I appreciate the other counselors' comments. I will have to say, to Counselor Raymond, because I know you are new, I will say that the school has, since Superintendent Lane has been here, as someone who works at the school, our negotiations have, our last couple contracts have been much better than we ever received in the past. So I believe that our teachers are getting there. They are getting some of the raises that they deserve. That is being looked at for the first time in a long time. And all employees for that matter. And I will say that I've been there almost 30 years and we're pretty much down to bare bones on administrators. So there's nothing there to cut either. I guess my only comment would be, I mean, obviously I work there, I am pro-education, but I would just really like to see maybe a second look at some of the things to make sure that everything budgeted for is a need. Because all we hear the most is, why are my taxes continuing to go up? And I think this needs to be a year of needs and not of wants. So if there are any supplies or anything that are not an absolute need, I think that needs to be looked at and readjusted. It would be great if we could have everything in the world, but we cannot do that. And things need to be prioritized.
Right.
So I think maybe some of those lines could be tightened up as far as supplies and professional development, and things like that. And I'd like to see that relooked at.
If there's no other council comments, I'm gonna give mine, and they fall very much in line with a lot of what's already been said. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. I've been trying to think of how to phrase what I want to say as well. Because I support wholeheartedly the school system and the teachers and the staff. And knowing that all budgets, or most budgets are budgets, they're paying for personnel, for people is the highest cost. And we want people to be paid fairly and paid well.
Right.
However, and I guess hearing and knowing that we're up to a $9 million budget for time, it isn't sustainable year after year to have all these increases. And people keep saying, in how many years is it going to take us before we do, whether it's called consolidate, regionalize, share more services. How are we going to get out of this hole? How are we going to come together as a region? Right. And so I support, what you provided here, but going forward, we need a plan, a real plan,
Right.
And whether if it's not with our neighbors, we need to look to consolidate into one building here and bring everybody under one roof. And so even I speak about the school, the town needs it too. I wish we need a planner. We need something that we can really look at and have a plan for ourselves to move forward instead of just every year up here saying how bad it is, and how are we going to move forward? 20, 30 years, keep talking about it. And it's unsustainable both on the town and the school to continue with these sort of budgets with our taxpayers that just can't afford it. So it's so hard to sit in this position, support everything that everybody is doing and knowing what the town needs, but we got to do something different at some point. When's it going to start? When's that point going to be? Thank you.
Any other counselor comments? Okay, I'll try again. So I share a lot of the same concerns, and I'm glad you brought up the point at the end, which I'll talk about in just a second. But several of the comments that have been mentioned here tonight by counselors have been expressed to me by citizens. I've been approached by at least 15 people in the last 2 weeks, whether it's concerns about the amount of money spent in the last 3 years, the increase of over $1 million to just the school portion in the last 3 years. or areas that they felt that money should be spent more in, as Councilor Raymond said. And I share similar concerns, and I'm not going to deep dive the budget and tell you where I think money should go, because it's not my point and what I'm trying to say, but I think there is a fine line. And I think every year we've heard we're gonna try. At least when I was a kid, that was always the prerogative, is let's try next year or the year after. And I want to say that, and I said this to Councilor McWallen earlier today, that I think this is the first year that we've had so much progress with consolidation. And I'm super hopeful for the future, as the progress updates that we were just given by the two councilors that are on that task force. That being said, I do think a plan is important, and I think it's better suited now than later. I would like to see some lines tightened up, as Councilman McWallen said. There are some lines that I shake my head at and think, man, I wish I had that when I was in school, but it's a different world today. So that's how I feel about it too. I wish to see that maybe that come down a little bit. Where, again, I'm not going to get into, but that's personally what I would like to see as a counselor as well.
Okay.
Any other counselor comments before I open it up to the public? Seeing anything from you guys before I open it up to the public? Seeing none, I will open it up to anyone in public on Zoom. Please raise your hand if you're on Zoom. I will call on you in the order that I see people raise their hands or come up to the podium. I'm assuming that's Miss Sullivan. Yes.
Yes, it is me.
Hello, Miss Sullivan.
Hello. I would,
Before you start, name and address just for the record.
Sandra Sullivan, 104 Sunset Drive. I realize that this budget is going up and 9 million is a scary figure. But a lot of what is going up are things that the school really has no control over. Just like the town has no control over in their budget, things like oil and electricity and the food to feed the kids and health insurance. Those are things that they have no control over at all. I think you have to consider that when you're asking them to cut. I have listened to these meetings ever since I have been back in Millmarket. And in my opinion, you have cut the school back to where they don't have extra money to buy a Band-Aid if they need it. And yet you're still asking them to cut back. Just think about that. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Seeing none. I want to thank you both for coming. I'm sure we'll talk after this again. And me and Dr. Lane talked briefly before this meeting. We're talking about possibly doing an update with everything that's going on at the schools, hopefully in June. We didn't want to do it tonight, obviously, because how long the budget takes. But we are looking at scheduling something to talk further about what's actually going on at the schools in June.
The fun stuff.
Yes, the fun
good
stuff.
Celebratory things.
All right, thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We'll take just a second for the people that are planning to leave to filter out before we continue.
Just because I didn't want to. So
You did.
okay.
And that's why I'm not.
You're only.
All right, unmuted.
All right, pulling back, everybody. We're gonna get started again. The time is 6:57 when we return. Counselor Runyon, can I have you read order number 77?
Yes, Chair. Order number 77-2026, providing for public hearing. It is ordered that the Millinocket Town Council enter into a public hearing for discussion of the fiscal year 2027 municipal and wastewater budgets.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Danforth. Any counselor discussion? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? All right, we are officially in special hearing. The time is 6:58. All right,
So everybody.
I know, everybody left.
So empty.
Still here.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
We appreciate you.
I do know that.
Stop yelling.
Imagine that.
All right, so I'm just gonna do broad overview of each section. If anyone has any questions or comments from the public, feel free, councilors, it's your last chance to make changes.
I have a question.
I have an answer. I think.
Do you want me to screen share?
Yes,
Okay.
just so they have it on Zoom.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure myself and has paper copy, but
The version you guys to proceed. The version.
just want to confirm those requests real quick. Did we end up pulling 2,500 from the economic development line and 2,500 from the legal line like we discussed in the last meeting? He is shaking his head yes for those that are on Zoom.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful bird.
Did you hear that, Grace? I said yes. Just making sure.
All right. Last meeting or last special hearing, there was one pending question that we had from a citizen on how much property that we had that was pending going on the market, or that we were pending to list. I messaged Mr. Manager today. We have 3, like I thought in the meeting, the special hearing we last had. But there is 2 that are still being discussed, so that we are potentially getting. So 3 as it stands right now, 2 potential in the future.
Now that doesn't necessarily cover, that doesn't include the. I don't know, I don't even have a guess off the top of my head of foreclosed via, tax acquired property. But those are the handful that we have sought out through other legal means to clean up.
Any questions on that before I move into the actual budget? All right. Moving on. I'm gonna start right on page 1 and I'm gonna power through it. So the very first part is the wastewater overview. There's no changes to this portion, correct?
Correct.
Any questions? Seeing none. Anyone from the public? Seeing none. All right.
You're funny.
Page 1. Wastewater administration, any questions on page 1? Or recommendations from the council?
My favorite piece.
Seeing none. Page 2, Department 2200 wastewater protection. Seeing none. Page 3, 2300 wastewater fringe benefits. Seeing none. 2400 wastewater operations. Seeing none. Page 5, 2500 wastewater pump station. Seeing none. Department 2600 wastewater collection. Seeing none. Department 2700 wastewater debt services. Seeing none. Department 2800 wastewater capital improvement. Seeing none. And then page 1 of revenues. Department 2100 wastewater administration. Seeing none. Department 2500 wastewater pump station. Seeing none. Moving into the town budget. Changes here, Mr. Manager.
Yes. So after the last meeting, we've got a decrease in legal expenses
decrease in economic development, making up for the increase in snow sled and ATV program. We also have a new decrease in garage maintenance, a little over $7,000, and that is an additional solar credit deal that we were able to wrap up very early this week.
So the meeting with Nexamp went well.
Yes, and continue to go well. Yeah.
He came to
yeah,
my
so
house. He
we
had
are-
very positive things to say about you.
Awesome. So I paid him to say that. So yeah, that brings our new expense over revenue, difference in the tax raise, back down a bit to $319,132.
Counselor comments on the overview. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, I'm gonna power through it like I did last time as well.
Do it.
Yes,
SBR, do you mind just? The department?
page 1, Department 101, General Government. Total 83,000, oops, sorry, $501,328. Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none.
Oh, sorry. What, this does, also represent the change to the council stipends that were discussed last week.
Great, thank you. Any questions knowing the new information? Seeing none. Page 3, I don't know if I have a page missing, but my next page is 3.
Page
Two.
Page 2 would have been.
General.
I deleted a lot of pages from the report because they're blank.
Thank you.
Page who's missing in that?
I would just go next page.
Wait till we get laptops. Department 103, elections and registrations, total $12,125. Any comments? Seeing none. Page 4, 104, Town Clerk's Department, $344,090.00. Being none. Assessing, $204,815.00. Seeing none. 108 Municipal Building, $95,001. Seeing none.
5,000 even. I'm just kidding.
Would you like to make a motion?
No.
All right.
We just get that to 95,000 even, that dollar's just,
It
it bugs me.
I got you.
I like even 5%.
Yeah.
All right. No, you're
I'm
good.
gonna take it from cleaning supplies. And that's now gonna be a 1,999.
Department 109 audit, 35,000. Comments? Seeing none. Page 9, legal expenses 111, 17,500. Seeing none. Administration 112, $140,750. Seeing none. 114, planning code development, 56,493. Seeing none. 115, economic development, 42,900. Seeing none. 118, community initiatives director, $81,899. Seeing none. 201, police department, $848,874. Seeing none. 203, fire department, 2 pages on this one, $104,527. Seeing none. 204, ambulance, $257,414. Seeing none. 205, fire and ambulance general, 2 pages again, $1,130,580. Seeing none. 206, community service, $729,491. Seeing none. 209, insurance, $199,784. Seeing none. 213, enforcement officials, $12,124. Seeing none. 214, dog constable, $19,216. Seeing none. Fringe benefits, $33,551. Seeing none. 402, Public Works Administration, $130,020. Seeing none. 403, garage maintenance, $29,450. Seeing none. Public Works, Roads and Constructions, 2 pages, $1,438,631. Seeing none. Transfer site, 2 pages again, $522,987. Seeing none. Library, $175,000. Excuse me, seeing none. 700, debt and interest, $257,585. Seeing none. 815, general assistance, $17,150. Seeing none. 816, public health welfare agency, $10,000. Seeing none. 902, cemetery, $80,660. Seeing none. 1002, recreation, 2 pages, $233,620. Seeing none. 1009, snow sled and ATV program, $154,500. This is the change that was made. Seeing none. 1101, airport operations, $209,710. Seeing none. 1102, airport business, $85,900. Seeing none. 1106, holiday observation and events, $27,000. Seeing none. County tax, $517,558. Seeing none. Capital improvement, $37,000. And seeing none. And then the last page is the estimates that we went over. These last couple pages are the estimates that we went over that we asked the manager to grab, just in case if any counselors had interest in making a motion. You have those. Anything on the expense side one last time from the council before I move into the revenue? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, moving into revenues, page 1, general government, $3,052,000.
It is a hand. It's my mouth.
Oh, okay.
You are not wrong.
The yellow hands are the important ones.
Okay.
$5 in general government. Seeing none, 981,600. Seeing none. Are we still connected?
Yes.
Okay. Assessing, $626,930. Seeing none. $37,740. Seeing none. Planning code development, $23,200. Seeing none. Economic development, $108,260. Seeing none. Fire department, $37,200. Seeing none. 204 ambulance, $322,675. Seeing none. Community service, $2,400. Seeing none. Fringe benefits, $2,000. Seeing none. Public Works Administration, $62,200. Seeing none. Public Works, Roads and Constructions, $80,000. Seeing none. Transfer site, $114,337. Seeing none. General assistance, $12,005. Seeing none. Cemetery, $24,000. Hearing none. Snow sled and ATV program, 126,500. Seeing none. Airport business, 101,000. I see the number. Seeing none. Quality observation, 1,500. What was that?
Yes.
CDBG, 1,500. Seeing none. Capital reserve, 1,000. Seeing none. Last but not least, Department 5,500 trust fund, whopping $200.
And all that's one day.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
All right, what's your question?
Did anybody else feel like that episode of I Love Lucy where they're like, trying to inspect the chocolates as they go by on the conveyor belt?
Yeah.
Point of order. All right, what can I do for you, Councilor?
Yeah, and maybe it's just because I missed the last meeting, but I did listen and watch through 2/3 of it. I almost got all the way through, were those items added? You went through the capital our wish list, remember? And we had them. Did they get added in here? I know you went.
No, nobody made any motion to accept anything on the wish list.
Okay.
Three items. The restoration of the plow truck number 10, the painting and maintenance of the pool house.
But that got added the meeting before and Councilor Danforth was present. The last meeting we had nothing that is,
So I know we talked about it at the meeting, and then I think it was in probably your last meeting. It was added in.
correct. We asked for, we didn't add, so the 3 quotes that you have in the back were for councilors to look at. What was that?
Public Works Fund.
Yeah, so one was the cemetery side by side.
Mhm.
I didn't have that. The 3 capital items are the restoration of truck number 10, the painting and sealing of the pool house, and the bathroom
Those things that we-
repairs.
Right,
at the-
I'm referring to the ones like tractor you had added. The last meeting, Councilor Danforth wasn't here for, so you got us a quote for the tractor. You brought up another quote for another item that we had talked about.
Yeah, none of those additional.
Correct, so none of those made it. So the only 3 that we have are the ones that, those were added, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. My question.
None of the public. Yes.
Sandy, you're muted.
Oh,
There you go.
Sandy Sullivan, 104 Sunset Drive. Matt, you were going by faster than I could turn pages. On the revenue side, Department 0407, roads and construction, what was that final number?
You said 407?
407.
Yeah, $1,438,631. Total increase is 10,000. Oh, sorry, that's you want
No,
revenue.
it's-
Revenue,
it's
80,000.
80,000, okay.
80,000. Yeah, that's the local
That
roads
didn't-
assistant program.
That didn't change at all then. Okay, thanks.
It increased $30,000, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, so it did increase. So it in 2026 it was 50,000. In 2024 it was $51,944. This year is 80,000 with a total increase of $30,000.
So in preparation for FY 26, we didn't have the new number yet. So it was budgeted at 50,000. Shortly after the budget was adopted, we got the information that if you look at the 2026 year to date, we did receive 86,100. So that gave us over $36,000 more than we budgeted for. And then we put in the more accurate $80,000 line for FY 27.
Any other questions, Ms. Sullivan?
I did have one, but in my senior moment, I forgot what it was, so. No,
Sorry.
Yeah.
If you remember it, let us know. We are gonna go down through each order. So if you do remember it, just feel free to raise your hand. Any other counselor or public discussion?
No,
Let's go ahead,
no
Bill.
public discussion, but on the next agenda item, reading of the orders for the budget. I'd like to make the motion that where we've just reviewed for the second time the budget, that we forego the reading of the line items and just the total of each department.
It'd be 4 times, but I agree. There's a motion on the floor to skip the readings.
Second.
There's a second. Counselor discussion. Seeing none done to the public on the motion. Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous. We're gonna skip the readings. So- Oh, you guys raised your hands too? All right, public also agrees. All right. The time is 7:18 PM. We don't have to do anything to leave special hearing, correct? But we're going to regular time. All right, at 7:18, we exit our special hearing. Public hearing, my bad. All right, order number 77 that is skipped. All that work I did to assign counselors is out the window.
That's 78,
Um,
77,
78.
78.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
my bad. That was first in my pile.
Uh,
So the first one is general administration. Total $1,384,160. Counselor comments. Seeing none, down to the public.
We have to motion.
We have to motion.
Oh, yeah, sorry. See, you got me all screwed up, Louis.
Oh, my word.
Is there a motion for order number 78? Counselor Pelletier, is there a second?
Happy to read it.
I'll
You-
second.
You're gonna second,
I read
Counselor
that.
Ryan seconds. All right. Again, it is general administration, $1,384,160.
Let's read the order.
Can I just make a call?
He motioned to skip reading.
Oh,
No.
reading,
Another motion
we
of
still have to.
line
make-
items.
The line items, okay. I thought you would want the whole thing.
The heading's not that big.
All right, Counselor Pelletier, go read it.
Yeah, I'd like to read the first.
Calling him all, calling on him for all of them.
Okay. Order 78, 2026, providing for general administration. It is ordered that $1,384,160 is hereby raised and appropriated. And the officers are authorized to spend said amount for the general administration department of Millinocket as listed below for the fiscal year 2027.
You still
Second.
second? All right, thank you.
I second that. Yeah.
Counselor comment. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none. All those in favor of order number 78? It passes. Counselor Pelletier, can I read order number 78?
79.
Yes,
26, providing for community economic development is ordered that $195,916 is hereby raised and appropriated, and the officers are authorized to spend said amount for the community and economic development departments of Millinocket as listed below for the fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Seconded. Counselor discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 79? Passes. Counselor Danforth, can I have you read order number 80, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, order number 80-2026, providing for public safety and protection. It is ordered that $3,292,510 is hereby raised and appropriated, and the officers are authorized to spend said amount for the public safety and protection departments of Millinocket as listed below for the fiscal year 2027.
Seconded. Counselor discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 80? Passes. Order number 81, please, Counselor Holland.
Order number 81-2026, providing for public works and airport departments. It is ordered that $2,510,152 is hereby raised and appropriated, and the officers are authorized to spend said amount for the public works and airport departments of Millinocket as listed below for the fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Seconded. Counselor discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? It passes. Counselor Runyon, can I read order number 82?
Order number 82 twenty twenty-six, providing for community and recreation services. It is ordered that $617,270 is hereby raised and appropriated, and the officers are authorized to spend a set amount for the community and recreation services departments of Millinocket as listed below for fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Seconded. Councilor discussion? Seeing none, down to the public? Seeing none again, or all those in favor of order number 82? It passes. Order number 83, Councilor Gould.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Order number 83 twenty twenty-six, providing for debt and interest. It is ordered that $257,585 is hereby raised and appropriated, and the officers are authorized to spend said amount for the debt services and interest department of Millinocket as listed below for the fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Raymond.
Mhm.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilor Raymond. Councilor discussion? Seeing none, down to the public? Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 83? It passes. Order number 84, Councilor Raymond.
Thank you, Chairman. Order number 84, 2026, providing for capital improvement departments. It is ordered that $37,000 is hereby raised and appropriated, and the officers are authorized to spend said amount for the capital improvement departments of Millinocket as listed below for the fiscal year 2027. Second.
Seconded. Council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 84? It passes. Councilor Pelletier, can I have you read order number 85, please?
Thank you. Order 85, 2026, providing anticipated revenues and transfers. It is ordered that the overall anticipated revenues and transfers in the estimated amount of $5,718,642 is approved, and the officers are authorized to spend for fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Seconded. Councilor discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those opposed? None, all those in favor? Pass. Gotta have some fun.
Almost got me.
All right, Councilor Danforth.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, order number 86 twenty twenty-six, providing for transfer of funds from designated dog fee revenue reserve account for the care of animals. It is ordered that the balance of the reserve account be transferred from the designated dog fee revenue reserve account into the general fund budget for fiscal year 2027 to provide for eligible cost in the care of animals. Note, these funds are already included in the order authorized anticipated revenues and transfers. This order is offered because the funds will be taken from the designated reserve account, which requires specific town council approval.
Second.
Seconded. Councilor discussion. Seeing none, down in the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? It passes. Councilman McGowan, can I have you read order number 87, please?
Mr. Chairman, order number 87 twenty twenty-six, providing for transfer of funds from fund balance account. It is ordered that $575,000 be transferred from the assigned fund balance into the general fund budget for FY 27. Note, these funds are already included in the order authorizing anticipated revenues and transfers. This order is offered because the funds will be taken from an assigned and unassigned fund balance accounts, which requires specific town council approval.
Second.
That's seconded. Councilor discussion. Seeing none, down in the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? Passes. Councilor, can I have you read order number 88, please?
Sure. Order number 88, 2026, providing for authorization of county tax. It is ordered that $517,558 is hereby raised and appropriated, and to authorize the officers to spend for 1201 county tax assessment for fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Quickly seconded by Councilor Raymond. Councilor discussion. No, we cannot turn this down. Down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? Passes. Councilor Gould.
Order number 89, 2026, providing for acceptance of state of Maine funds. It is ordered that the town of Millinocket, town finance director and town treasurer is authorized to accept, and such acceptance is deemed to have been appropriated revenues and or subsidies for the ensuing fiscal year, such funds as municipal revenue sharing funds, local road assistance program, general purpose aid to education, civil emergency funds, snowmobile registration money, tree growth reimbursement, general assistance reimbursement, veteran exception reimbursement, Homestead Act reimbursement, state and federal grants and aid and other state of Maine funds are available at a future date and to authorize the officers to spend said sums. These monies are currently anticipated in the above revenue order and allows the town to accept these monies for use with fiscal year 2027 proposed budget. Acceptance of any new monies will be authorized only by council order.
Second.
That is second and council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? Councilor Pelletier, are you in favor or opposed?
Favor.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Councilor Pelletier, can I have you read order number 90?
Skip count.
Did I motion to?
Yep, I did.
Did I motion to forego the whereases?
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
That is seconded by Councilor Danforth. Although, discussion on the motion. Skip the whereases. Seeing none, down public. Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion? It passes.
Thank you.
Unfortunately. Go ahead.
Order 90, 2026, providing for a written policy concerning disbursement of state fees. Now therefore it is ordered that the following written adopted concerning the disbursement of state fees. 1, the treasurer shall prepare a warrant weekly to disperse state fees. 2, the weekly warrant for fees shall be reviewed and approved by the finance director. 3, upon approval of the weekly warrant for state fees by the finance director, any member of the ad hoc warrant subcommittee established pursuant to chapter 29A of the administrative code may review and approve the weekly warrant for state fees and document his or her approval by signing the warrant. 4, the treasurer is authorized to disperse state fees each week upon presentation of a warrant for that purpose, which has been approved by the finance director and signed by any member of the ad hoc warrant subcommittee. Any error in the weekly warrant for state fees shall be corrected by the treasurer on the next weekly warrant for state fees after discovery of the error. Warrant for state fees approved pursuant to this policy are not subject to review and approval pursuant to chapter 20A of the administrative code. This policy shall be reviewed and voted on annually by the council.
Second.
That is seconded. Council discussion. Sorry.
I'm well done.
Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? Passes. Councilor Raymond, can I have you read order number 91, please?
Order number 91-2026, providing for a disbursement of employee wages and benefits. Whereas the town treasurer may disperse money only by the authority of the warrant voted and signed by a majority of the council, and whereas the council signs warrants on a bi-weekly basis, and whereas employees are paid on a weekly basis, now therefore it is ordered pursuant to Title 30A, Section 56.2.A.1, that the town treasurer is authorized to disperse wages and withholdings required by law on the authority of the warrant signed by the town manager.
Just a quick correction that title was Title 30-A, Section 5603.2.A.1.
Second.
Seconded.
Yeah.
Council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 91? Passes. Councilor Danforth, can I have you read order number 92, please?
Certainly. Order number 92-2026, providing for payment of property taxes for multiple years. It is ordered that we, the municipal officers of the town of Millinocket, upon request of the tax collector and town treasurer of said town, hereby authorize and direct the tax collector and town treasurer pursuant to Title 36 MRSA Section 906 to apply any tax payment received from an individual as payment for any property taxed against outstanding or delinquent taxes due on said property in chronological order, beginning with the oldest unpaid tax bill, provided however that no such payment may be applied to any tax for which an abatement, application, or appeal is pending unless approved in writing by the taxpayer.
Second.
Seconded, council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous. Council McLaughlin, can I read three, please?
Yes. Order number 93-2026, providing for wastewater department anticipated revenues and transfers. It is ordered that the overall anticipated revenues and transfers as listed below in the estimated amount of $1,086,000 is approved for FY 2027 for the wastewater department.
Second.
Seconded, council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 93? It passes. Council Lemon, can I have you read order number 94, please?
Indeed. Order number 94-2026, providing for wastewater department operations. It is ordered that $1,056,358 is hereby appropriated for wastewater operations expenditures for fiscal year 2027 for the departments listed below.
Second.
That's seconded, council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? Passes. Councilor Raymond, can I have you read order number 95, please?
Order number 95-2026. Providing for payment of sewer bills for municipal bills. It is ordered that we, the municipal officers of the town of Millinocket, upon request of the tax collector and the town treasurer of said town, hereby authorize and direct said tax collector and town treasurer to credit sewer payments to accounts in the same manner as real estate payments, and whereas real estate tax payments are allocated to the oldest outstanding tax bill, and whereas the statutory reference in section 104-16 of the sewer ordinance has not been updated to reflect repeal of Title 30 MRSA and enactment of Title 30A, 30-A. Therefore, it is ordered as follows. The tax collector and the town treasurer are hereby directed to credit payments for the sewer system use charges in chronological order, beginning in the oldest unpaid sewer system use charge, providing, however, that no such payment may be applied to any charge for which an abatement application or appeal is pending unless approved in writing by the sewer fee payer. It is further ordered that the sewer system rates, fees, or user charges not paid within 90 days of when due shall be collected in accordance with the Chapter 104, Section 104-16 of the Municipal Code entitled 30-A, MRSA, Section 3406.
Second.
Seconded. Council discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 95? Passes. All right.
New business. 4 hour.
Counselor Danforth, can I have you read order number 96, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, order number 96-2026, providing for execution of the town warrant for April 23rd, 2026. It is ordered that the town warrant for April 23rd, 2026 in the amount of $71,737.34 is hereby approved.
Seconded by Councilor Gould. Council discussions, heavy hitters?
Yeah, we just 2 or 3. $6,169.13. That's Boyle Tanner and Associates. That's the taxiway construction project, taxiway. $13,025.30 CV Mar engineer. That's our Brownfield assessment grant work. $12,595.28 Striker Flex Financial. And that's payment on our power contracts. Ambulance.
Any other council discussion? Seeing none. Public. Seeing none. All those in favor? It passes. Counselor Danforth, can I read order number 97?
Yes, order number 97-2026, providing for execution of the wastewater warrant for April 23rd, 2026. It is ordered that the wastewater warrant for April 23rd, 2026 in the amount of $15,645.93 is hereby approved.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Pelletier.
And I'll just admit $10,718.26 goes to Versant Power, and those are electricity for 4 different pump stations.
Thank you. Down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor? It passes. All right, Counselor Runyon, can I have you read order number 98, please?
Absolutely. Order number 98-2026, providing for approval of application for victual license for Appalachian Trail Cafe. It is ordered that the attached application for a victual license is hereby approved for Leah Malcolm, Millinocket, Maine, doing business as Appalachian Trail Cafe, business address 210 Penobscot Avenue, Millinocket.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Pelletier. Counselor discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 98? Passes. Counselor Pelletier, can I have you read, oh, I'm sorry, Counselor Cool. Can I have you read order number 99?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Order number 99-2026, providing for public hearing, approval of an application for an entertainment license for Birch's Campground LLC. It is ordered that the town council enter into public hearing for the attached application for an entertainment license, and it is further ordered that the entertainment license is hereby approved for Barsom, Basha Ronaldo, South Portland, Maine, doing business as Birch's Campground LLC, business address 11 Hasbro Road, Millinocket.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Danforth. The time is 7:39 PM for that public hearing. Council discussion. I will add, they were here tonight. We were planning on tabling the order, but all three of these orders, but I talked with our clerk and she has recommended that we pass 99 and 100 and then 101 we table. They do want to come back and talk to us, so that will still give them the opportunity to come back and see us as a council. So they were here right before the meeting and there was some confusion, but I'm very happy to see this sell. I know we talked about it right before the meeting, but I'm happy that someone has gone in there, and I hope it's another hangout spot for kids to go to for Taco Tuesday or Wing Wednesday or such. It was a very sought out location when it was open. Any other councilor comment? Yes.
I may.
Yes.
The recommendation, was only because they had to vote for the public hearing. The public hearing, is just to the council to whether they approve or deny, just to see it forward. And the third order that, recommended just is the one that they didn't have any backup of. So that may allow sometimes that to happen as well, so.
Anyone else? Seeing none, none of the public.
Oh, no. You still have it? Oh, no, somebody could. I would actually table all three of these. At bottom, right. Well.
My understanding, the next two orders are purely the states, if they pass to the state, right? I mean, we've experienced this with the Blue Hawks in the past. The vehicular license is the one that they can't sell food unless we pass that.
It would just, it supersedes with the liquor license for the state. The victualers is the one that allows them by town ordinance to sell food. So if that one's tabled, they're still not able to be open and.
They won't be able to do anything.
Without that.
Does that work for you or?
That I know, you need to table them, or you pass them. Under the.
My recommendation for the
Mr.
council
Chairman.
is that we pass the next two orders and then table the third one. And then we can absolutely discuss that the next meeting when we
Right.
come. Council.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know I spoke with them before the meeting and they did indicate they had some, they were gonna mail in some of their, like, they weren't ready, they knew, so they understood if it was contingent on. But like the clerk had said, I know that it went into the paper for this, public hearing or portion of it, so. Yeah, whatever's, seems reasonable, but they're understanding, they're not pushing it forward, they're trying to follow the right.
100%.
Yeah, so if it's contingent on or however we need to.
I think just tabling the third order, as the clerk said, will prevent them from doing
Yeah,
anything
I
until we
agree.
feel satisfied. So if the code enforcement officer still has concerns by the next meeting, by all means, we can table it again thereafter if so chosen. But I don't see a reason to uphold 99 and 100. Given that we're going to table 101 anyway, and that's the big one. Any other councilor comment? Seeing none, down to the public again. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 99? It passes. Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Chair.
No,
Oh, yeah, sorry. The time is 7:43 PM. We are exiting public hearing. Go ahead.
Order 100-2026, providing for approval of an application for a liquor license for Birch's Campground LLC. It is ordered that the attached application for entertainment license is hereby approved for Barson Basharanalu, South Portland, Maine, doing business as Birch's Campground LLC, business address 11 Hasbro Road, Millinocket.
Seconded by Councilor Danforth. Councilor discussion. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 100? It passes. Councilor Gould. One more time.
Make a
Motion to table order 100-2026. Oh, is it 101?
101.
Here's 101.
101.
101, yeah.
There is a motion on the table to table 101-2026.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Runyon.
No discussion, call to a vote.
No discussion. So all those in favor of tabling the order? It's unanimous.
that direction.
Correct, yes. Reports and communications, a warrant committee for May 14th will be Council McGuallen and Council Pelletier, unless either one of you got stuff going on.
I have no.
Yeah, no problem with it.
I'll be there.
This vacation. Anyway, chair committee reports.
I don't have one.
No chair committee reports. 2-minute public comment. Seeing none. All right, I will seek a motion to adjourn.
Most to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Okay, this motioned by Councilor Raymond, seconded by Councilor. All those in favor of
It's
adjourning.
fine.
Come on, it passes. One opposed, Councilor Pelletier. Yeah.
He's gonna stay there.